You know my next guest is the three-time Grammy Award-winning lead singer of REM. Please welcome back to The Late Show, Mr. Michael Stipe, everybody. Nice to see you again.
Thank you.
Now, you were here in 2016 last time. It has been too long. Of course, a lot has happened since 2016. Are you keeping up with the news?
I actually stopped about a year ago, Thanksgiving. One of my medical people suggested that I stop watching the news and stop drinking caffeine.
Really?
And so I did. And
can you give me his or her name? Because I think I need that kind of doctor.
She works in Tribeca. Yeah, she's great. I also stopped. I shut down all my social media accounts. I deleted everything that I had that had to do with Instagram. Was like goodbye, it's over. And I was.
Then
really
where
happy.
do you get your cesspool of anxiety?
Well, you know, I'm a little bit of an antenna, so I pick up things from everything around me, and then I funnel that through my work. But when I'm not working, like for the past decade, then it's hard to funnel. So it all gets kind of jammed up in there.
Well, antenna is exactly how I might describe you. I was just talking to one of my producers that I love having Michael Stipe on. I like talking to him because you do vibrate in reaction to the world. You feel things very strongly, and that's why I love artists. And I'm so glad that you're creating art again.
Thank you.
Because you've got the new book here. It's called Interference Times, and it's your third book of photography. And there's a wide variety of photos in here. Why did you decide to include what you did? Like, what does this book mean to you? What's it saying?
The book is about the space that we've been in since digital technology has brought us to where we are right now, which is between analog and digital. And we're in this these are two systems that don't talk to each other very well. And when they try to, they just create these kind of screwy moire patterns. And that's where we are culturally. That's where we are politically.
This is the very first photo in the book, and I'm just curious. Who is that? You? What is?
No, well, that was when I was very, very young. My hero was the Hunchback of Notre Dame. So that's
your hero was the Hunchback.
Yeah.
Oh wow, Quasimodo.
Yeah, Quasimodo. I just kind of related to him because, well, my grandmother had a hunchback, and my father did as well. But he was this kind of ostracized outsider, you know, that was beloved by people like me and probably you, actually.
Sure.
And Patti Smith. We recently had a conversation. You know, I'm a great fan of hers and also a friend. But I showed her that picture. It opens the book and kind of sets up the book as this immersive, falling through the looking glass, you know, Alice in Wonderland kind of experience, I hope, if I'm successful. And she also, as a kid, identified with the Hunchback of Notre Dame. I think he just kind of, he represents the island of misfit toys, you know.
And what the island? I like that idea of the island of misfit toys. Did you think of yourself as a misfit toy?
From the first time I saw Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and it was before my hair curled, so I didn't have that. I wasn't like the dentist elf. I was more like the broken toys, and I actually really, you know, I knew I was not strange, but I knew I was different.
Did you find other misfit toys? Is that one of the reasons, like, sort of arts and music appealed to you because you were finding other? Because one of the things I love about being, in some small way, an artist or working with artists is that people embrace the break or the brokenness in their life and turn it into something beautiful. Did you find that in music?
Well, it's like Greta Thunberg is an amazing example of someone who said, this aspect of me is what I consider, her being autistic or on the spectrum, is what I consider to be a superpower. And in one sentence, she flipped the entire story to present herself as something that can take what makes her very different and maybe what some people would look at as a liability and place it as something actually heroic and vulnerable, but very, very strong. Like full of strength.
That is beautiful. That is a beautiful use of sort of amplification or positive use of her condition. I want to ask you about President Trump, if you don't mind, for just a moment.
Okay.
Because, not to bring anybody down, but he is using REM songs at his rallies, despite your objections. Is there really nothing you can do? I wish that would help, but is there nothing you can do to stop him?
It's a licensing problem, and there's nothing we can do except respectfully request that they not use.
Why respectfully? Do you have to be respectful
Because
about it?
because we take the high road. My former band and I.
Yeah.
Who is it that said when they go low, we go high?
Michelle Obama did.
She's cool.
She is cool. She's very cool. Easier to say than do.
That reminds me, actually, of a show that I once went to in the late 90s here in New York City at Joe's Pub. You know,
Sure.
It's a very small
Downtown, yeah.
venue, and it was right when Patti Smith had come back to performing as a musician, and she agreed to do this benefit where these people were doing like 3 or 4 songs each. And so I went to support her. I showed up late. I was with my friend Shanti. We got there late. It was standing room only. And so they took us to the VIP overflow booth, which I'm sure you've been in one of those before.
That's where I live, baby. That's where I live.
And we were the only people at the table, and the show started, and this performer was on stage, and then this businessman, this kind of big, loud guy, came in with a date, and they brought him also to the VIP overflow booth, and he was sat next to us. And so Shanti was between me and this couple, and he was talking to her, and he kept talking to her through the performance. And it was, you know, it's a tiny, you know, Joe's Pub is a very small room, and people were turning around, and it was very disruptive and rude, frankly. And that performer came off. Patti Smith went on stage. She started her first song. She was nervous. She started her first song, and he kept talking. And I was like, excuse me, that's my friend, and you have to stop talking. You can't talk. You can't stop. What are you doing? Shut up. I said, shut up. The guy got up and left. He walked out. He took his date, who he was obviously trying to pick up, and left the club. And do you know who that guy was? Donald J. Trump.
We have to pay the bills, but please don't go away, because when we come back, we'll be here with Michael Stipe. Please join us.